right? Aleph and Beth mixed together is Abba. 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 Abba means what? Literally, father of the house, the head of the house. Aleph also means head, like the ox's head, and Beth means house, and so father means the head of the house. That's what it literally means. The first two words in the Hebrew alphabet. Now, how about Gemel? Gemel is what? Camel. All right, camel. And Daleth. Daleth, a door. Okay, and He, that's a window. All right, and then Wah, that's a reaping hook. A reaping hook. And then Zion, that's a weapon. And then Teth, that's a fence. And then Teth, that's a snake. It looks like a snake, doesn't it? And then Yod is like a hand. Just like a hand. Put your hand up here like this. Like a Yod. Yod is hand. All right? Closed, about half closed. Yod. And then Kaf. Kaf is a open hand. And by the way, there are finals and there are letters written in or at the front of the word, just like there are in Greek. Greek, the sigma is a final, or there's either a sigma in the word in Greek, sigma in the word, and a final looks like our S. Our language came from Greek. And what about the English language? Does the English language have any finals? Did it have any finals? Before 1800, the English letter of S was like that in the word. Let's look at this. Congress. It would look like that. Okay. After 1800, they dropped this S and just made it with two S's, two finals. All right. So we did have a final in the English languages also. So in Greek, or Hebrew, we'll have a final and a letter in the word. And then Lamet. Lamet. Lamet is like what? A whip. All right. And then Mem. Mem is like waters. And you have a Mem like this. And then you have one like this at the end of a word. Now, I will make my Hebrew letters more distinct than any Hebrew lexicon or text. You'll be able to tell my letters as you read Hebrew in the text. You'll be able to tell one letter from the other if you just learn the little things. I make it. Dalet. All right? Dalet, I will put a little heel or a cap on the top of it where it looks like that, okay? So you can tell my Dalet from a cough, a final cough. All right? And then Nun. Nun is what? Like a fish. And it has a nun. It has this at the end of it. Okay? And like that in the word. Samic. 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 That's like what? A prop. Now here we have, what do you say like what? Like a prop. I draw Samic like this. Okay? So you can tell it from a mem or whatever. Samic. Like a prop. And then ayin. Ayin. Ayin is like a cartoon character. Like that. With a little eyes sticking up. All right? Ayin. And then pay. Pay. Pay is what? Just think about it. Pay. Here's pay with a mouth. It's a mouth with a tongue in it. Pay. 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 All right? And it can be a hard pay like a P or like a PH. What is the Greek equivalent of that? That's a phi. All right? And we have one like that. That's a theta, a th. And Hebrew has a th sound and a strong t sound. And Greek has the same thing. This is the, like theta, and phi, like phi. That's part of my name, Phillips. It's a Greek name. Lover of horses. Sodhe. Sodhe. What is that like? A fish hook. All right? And there's two of them, like that, and then like this. Okay? Sodhe, and then kof. Kof. The back of the head. All right? And then resh. 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 Resh is the head. Resh, rosh means what? Rosh means what? Rosh in Hebrew. That's rosh is head, or first, or a head, whatever. And then sin and shin. Sin and shin. Sin and shin and sin. Same letter, just a different little point over it, all right? Sin and shin. The ancient Hebrew was not pointed. You just had to know what it was. You just had to know the language. And then tau. My tau is going to look a little different than... My tau is going to look like that. It's going to have a foot down here, so you can tell a tau from a haith or chaith or whatever in the Hebrew. Cindy, can you read Hebrew yet? Out of the... I can read Hebrew. I mean... I have no idea what I'm reading. Can you read it out of a lexicon yet? Or...
I have to concentrate harder.
Yeah. It's a little harder than reading it from the text that I wrote, because it's plain. The letters are plain. All right, so there we are. We've got that little bit of an introduction. We don't usually go through that, but I thought I'd bring it in. It won't hurt you to look at it. All right. 26 and verse 29. 26 and verse 29. Who has got their Amplified Bible in front of you? I want to read up to here to what's going on. I want to find out what we're talking about in the Word of God. Harry, you over there? Okay. We'll get that in a minute. But first of all, very first time we're going to turn you loose on Brother Abe. Brother Abe, are you ready to get up here and do your little thing? Yeah. All right. Abe is going to tell us something about languages. I had a Korean student years ago, Dr. Sol. I got to teach him Greek and Hebrew, and he taught me all the other languages. And we would cross over. We will go from language to language and discuss what something means. Brother Abe, are you ready? All right. He's going to tell us.
I'm so sorry. Mr. Searle was kind of genius. He can speak lots of English, but even I can't speak English well.
You can sing English very well, brother.
So that's why today I brought some gift.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for joining this class. Sometimes
Oh, this is beautiful.
I got this from Amazon.com.
Is it in English or?
The discovery of Genesis, how the truths of Genesis were found hidden in the Chinese language. This is really neat. Thank you, brother.
I found there are several more books about quite interesting idea about the ancient Chinese character, the origin of Chinese character. Some scholars and professors they found some very interesting things about the Chinese characters. According to their theory, after Noah's family, so they became the origin of all human tribes people. So some people came to the East area, some people Europe and Africa, and so this this related. But the people who traveled this area, like east side,
Eastern?
Like, eastern area, like China, Korea, Japan, like. So today I'm not going to talk about this one, but we have to understand about the origin of language, like ancient language. So even Buddhism or Confucius or like those kind of religion invented after the ancient character, language character was invented. So, this, according to the scholars, Chinese character invented BC 2500. That means around before around 4,500 years ago. So it looks like a Noah's flood. At the time of Noah's flood, after the Noah's flood, around that time, Chinese character was invented. They think like that. So, and then like a BC, like 5 or 6, our religion was invented. So if we search or research and if you study about the something like characters or pictographical letters or something, if you study about this, you can understand the ancient people's mind, what they thought. So they started this study of the Chinese character. So, and they found very interesting things. At first, this usually it means sky, heaven, like sky. And this is mouth. Sometimes it means a person. Like today, Dr. Phillips said, Aleph, it has a meaning of ox or first leader. Like a Chinese character has those kind of meaning. So, they found a very interesting character, like this letter character. This is a small boat, like a small boat. But this whole character is a ship, like a little vessel, like a big vessel. And this means 8. This boat. This means mouth, person. Mouth means person. So they wonder why this character consists with a small boat and 8. There are lots of numbers, 3 or 4 or 5. Why 8? Why 8 person? Why 8 person with a small boat is a ship? Huge vessel. So they wondered. BC, 2,500 years ago, some smart genius person made this character and containing this meaning. They wondered. So, because language is kind of one of communication system. Communication, that means if some boy wrote some letter, I love you, and the girl received the letter and they said, I love you. If she doesn't understand what does this mean, they cannot communicate. That means if somebody wrote like this, his friend, they understand what does this means. This kind of common sense in ancient time. Everybody understood what does this means. Because if I write flowers, you can imagine the flower. So, I'm sorry, I brought something very interesting. Roger, do you know this flower?
Oh, hibiscus.
Yeah, Saracus. Do you know the name of this flower? Common name.
Just hibiscus.
Rose of Sharon.
Oh,
The Rose of Sharon.
Your Rose of Sharon. This is very common flower for us. This is a Korean government, how can I say this? Like
Symbol?
a symbol. This is a Korean national flowers, Sharon, Rose of Sharon. Yeah. And Korean people, most Korean people knows about that flower, but we call eternal flower.
Eternal flower.
Yeah, we call eternal flower. I don't know why they call eternal flower. So it's quite interesting. So that I think those kind of things are telling us about our ancient ancestors were same came from
Like Hebrew.
Noah. Noah's
The 8 people were the 8 people who came off of the ark.
yeah. And another interesting is this kind of this
All right.
this character has the meaning of like a kind of history or following, like a go along, like a history, not history, but looks like a history, like a following story. That means history,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. This is water.
His story.
Yeah. This is water. That means water. And also this 8. And this means together. With water or in the water, I don't know, but with water together, 8 something, 8 people is this letter is flood. Yeah, flood. If I write down and then show Korean or Chinese people, this flood. Yeah, so we can understand where it comes from the character showing flood from the Noah's flood. Why 8 is there? And yeah, another one is this. Also, this person, the mouth, this mouth. This character has several parts. This part plus, this part plus, this part plus, this part. This is dust, mud. This is alive. This is person, like human. This is a walk, to move like alive. So this is very interesting. This means dead body. Dead body. But if somebody put like that, life, it's kind of a house. How many houses we use this character? Oh, there are 10 houses. 10. Oh, that means a house. House means somebody we are living. So that just this made this letter, this dead body, living, alive. So according to the Genesis 2:7, would you please read Genesis 2:7? And yeah.
Then the Lord God formed man of dust from the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living creature.
Yeah. Dust plus like somebody made alive and became person, can move. So only with Bible this we cannot understand the origin of the character. So and also Sandy, would you please read 2:10? Yeah.
Now a river went out of Eden to water the garden. From there it divided and became 4 riverheads.
Yeah, 4 river. This means garden, field, or working field, farm. This means. Yeah, like but the scholar said it means a 4 river, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this letter means Eden. Eden? Yeah. So yeah. Please, would you please read 2:9?
And out of the ground the Lord God made to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight or to be desired, good for food, the tree of life also in the center of the garden, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and blessing and calamity.
In Garden of Eden, there are 2 trees, right? So, because now, like around 4,500 years ago, now we are living in that world. So somebody wrote like this. I wrote this one to Sandy. Sandy will understand something. Sandy will imagine something. What does that mean? It means prohibit, restrict, like a forbidden. Forbidden. Yeah. So don't touch something. If I want to say to her, don't touch something, I have to write this one. Yeah, with the 2 trees and 1 man. Yeah, without the Bible, we cannot like, translate, or we don't understand why two trees and woman is prohibit, or yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, not forbidden. This is Covenat. I'm sorry, yeah. Desire. Yeah, Covenat. More bad thing. Covenat. Or avaricious. Covenant, avaricious. I'm sorry. Avarice. Yeah, avarice. Prohibit is this one, not woman. For this means, actually this means reveal things. So this one, most of characters containing the God, they use this one. The revealing or something. This means almost God. Not exactly God, but it has the meaning of God. So 2 trees with God means prohibit. I'm sorry, prohibit and don't touch. God ordered. God said to don't touch like that. But this is I want to touch like a. And last one. So who made Eve? Eve touched the tree. That's
Nahash.
also there are also 2 trees. This is a one word, we call like a magi, means devil. But this one itself has meaning devil or Satan. This one is ghost. Yeah. In the Garden of Eden, the human is here.
The human?
Yeah, this means human. This means secretly, privately. Yeah, looks like secretly did something to human in the garden. And he is here. This is hiding. This means hide. The 2 trees, in the 2 trees, ghost. That means devil.
Hiding in the tree with the devil.
Yeah. So they said at that time, everybody understood what this picture means. What this picture means, because they know the story of Genesis. That's why it became their language, like common sense at that time.
Call among all people.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Next time I'll study more English and I can speak well.
Okay.
Thank you, brother. Thank you very much. Thank you for the book also, brother. All right. Well, that'll give you a little bit of idea of how language have evolved. All right. And all man came from one woman and one man, didn't they? We all came from Adam and Eve. That's it. All languages had a root at one time. They all started from the Garden of Eden, and when they left out there at the Tower of Babel and the confusion of the languages, and on the chart here you see the languages, and the earth was divided. All at that period of time, all the languages were confused, but in all languages there is a symbol of who God is, who man is, who woman is, and especially the Oriental languages here showing this so plainly. All right, now let's go to Genesis 26 and verse 29. Genesis 26 and verse 29. You're looking up those words, aren't you, Cindy? Good girl. Im. All right. Ta'aseh. Manu. Ra. Okay. Kasher. Lo. Neg. Ga. Nuka. Ge. Ga. Anuka. All right. We ka asher. Asinu. Emika. Rock. Tov. Wa na neshali huka. And then be shalom. Ata Atah. Baruch. And then we have the word for Jehovah, and we call him Devar, the Word. Okay? They did not speak the name Jehovah. They referred to him as the Word, the name of God, or Hashem, the name, or Hadabar. All right? The modern Jews call this name here what? Adonai. All right? They will not pronounce that name because they don't know how. And John 1:1 and John 1:14, in beginning kept on being the Word or Jehovah, and Jehovah kept on being an inseparable part of the Godhead. And John 1:14, Kai Hologos Sarx Aganato, and the Word, the Jehovah, flesh, he became before himself. So we see that always. All right, if you will keep on doing with us evil. Now, who was going to look this up a while ago and read up to here? Harry. Read that very loud, Harry. About 25 onward. Genesis 26 and 25 onward.
And Isaac built an altar there and called on the name of the Lord, and pitched his tent there. And there Isaac's servants were digging a well. Then Abimelech went to him from
Gerar. Remember what Gerar means in Hebrew? Sharon. Circle. All right, circle, which means coin. This is where they started coining coins out of precious metal. Go ahead, Brother Harry.
Uzzah, one of his friends, and
Pekah. Yeah.
his army commander. And Isaac said to them, "Why have you come to me, and seeing that you hate me, and have sent me away from you?" They said, "We saw the Lord was certainly with you, so we said, let there be now a oath between us carrying the curse with it to befall the one who breaks it, even between you and us, and let us make a covenant with you. That you will
A covenant means what? New Testament, diatheke. All right. Hebrew, barith, which means a cutting, a divide. They would cut and divide animals, have a feast, they'd walk between them, they would give each other their shoe, and this was the type of a covenant, or barith, or a cutting. It comes from the dividing those animals, cutting them in half. All right? Go ahead, Brother Harry.
that you will do no harm, inasmuch as we have not touched you, and have done to you nothing but good, and have sent you away in peace. You are now the blessed or favorite of the Lord."
All right. If you allow with us evil, rah. Look at that, rah. Say that, rah. Evil, that's rah. Sounds evil, doesn't it? Rah. Okay. What is it? What would this be equivalent in Hebrew? Greek. What's the worst word for evil in Greek? It's the word for prostitution. It's the word for homosexuality. It's the word for all of those evil practices. Porneia. All right, that's the word here. It would be the equivalent of this in Greek. In the Septuagint, the LXX, or the Septuagint, is the Hebrew Bible translated into Greek. In Alexandria, Egypt, about 300 and so BC. About 300 BC. All right? Evil as not, little particle of negation or adverb of negation, that is lo. What is the adverb of negation in Greek? There are two. There's a particle and an adverb of negation in Greek. Uk and me. All right. Particle of adverb of negation and adverb of negation in Greek. Greek is a giant language. Remember, Hebrew is a smaller language. One word means a lot of things in Hebrew. All right. Just as not, we did touch. We have not touched you. See, that's perfect tense. First person, corporal, plural, call, perfect. We have not touched you. And the root of that, of course, is page 668 and 619. Page 619 in Brown, Driver, and Briggs, and page 668 in Kohler and Baumgartner. I give you, and sometimes I'll give you Davidson, Gesenius, or whatever. I will give you different different lexicons where you go look. You can look at brown driver and bricks, which is the very most common one. Cindy has got it right there. That's it. Cindy? That's brown driver and bricks? Yep. All right.
Yeah, it's on page 668.
Uh-huh. That's right. It's actually on page 619 in that one.
Oh, I had it wrong.
Okay, the 668 is in Kohler and Bumgardner. That's that 2-volume one. All right. And as, and because which we did, we have done with you only good. Tov. Look at that word tov. Good. Good. Tov. Tov was good. And God did this and God did that, and it became tov. Good. Good. All right. Tov. Good. What is the word for good in the Greek New Testament? What is just the plain word for good is kalos. Spiritual good is what? Agathos. All right. So we look at this. Only good. Rock good. Wanashali haka. And we sent you away. Be shalom. Be shalom. In peace. In peace. All right? In peace. You now. And blessed. And blessed has kept on blessing. Having blessed Jehovah. He has blessed you. All right? Jehovah has blessed you. Now you look at that, and I'll look it up on, if you want to look Jehovah up, it's on page 219, see that? And Baruch, down below all of the verbs here, you will see the roots, and many of the nouns. I'll give you the roots of the words, where you go look it up in an analytical Hebrew lexicon, or on what page it is in Brown, Driver, and Briggs, or Kohler and Bumgardner. And then our cross references Genesis 2:31 and Psalm 115 and verse 15. 26 and verse 30 now. Genesis 26 and verse 30. And you can read that. You'll get to where you can read my writing a little better. It keeps getting worse. Actually, I'm doing the best I can, but I'm shaking so bad. Now, what is on the front of that word? What is that wah? What does that wah mean there? Wah. Wah. Why? What does that mean? That's a conjunction. And in Hebrew, on the front of a word, it'll be like that or like that. It'll be wah or you, and that is a conjunction. Page 253 in Brown, Driver, and Briggs. You'll see that down there. All right? So, wah ya'as. All right? Lehem, mishteh, waya kilu, wayashtu. So here they are. They're going to make a cutting, a covenant. They go out and they slaughter a sheep. They slaughter a goat. They slaughter a cow. They cut their bodies in two, and they take 2 birds and they slaughter them. They put them on one pallet on one side, one blanket on the ground, or one tablecloth, whatever. They lay them out there. They walk between them. They give each other their shoe. Now that sounds really dumb to us today, but this is what they did back then. They gave each other their sandal, their underbinders. Shoe is an underbinder, something that's bound underneath your foot, like these here, Cindy's. You always wear underbinders. All right, underbinders. Sharon's got underbinders on. All right. That's what you call underbind. Hypodio is in Greek, underbinders. In Hebrew, it has the same idea. And they handed each other their sandals, their shoes, and then they would cook the animals, and they would sit down and they would eat the animals until they were all gone. They'd sit down and just ate and ate and ate, and they would fellowship for up to 3 days. All right. An animal, when you cooked an animal back in those days, you had to eat all the meat within 3 days. If you didn't eat the meat within 3 days, according to the law of Moses, of course, this predates the law of Moses, but after the law of Moses, it says you will make all the sacrifices, you will cook the food, and it will not keep it over 3 days because guess what? It's going to spoil. So they would eat it up to 3 days, and then whatever was left over, they would take it out and burn it up, all the way up. So it wouldn't be laying out, rotting, dead carcasses, causing maggots and everything else, okay? And he made for them a feast, Mishteh. Mishteh, a feast, on page 1059. See that, Cindy? That's in that book. All right? And they kept on eating. And they kept on drinking. Look at that. Third person masculine plural, kal, while consecutive imperfect. They kept on eating and they kept on drinking to what? Till the food was gone. It wasn't just one meal. They would sit there and they would camp and they ate and they ate and they ate and they ate. All right? They ate and they ate and they ate. Now, the American Indians, we had better sense than that. We went out and we'd find a herd of buffaloes and we'd kill our buffaloes and we'd skin the buffaloes and they would take it and they would cook and eat right there. But then they would start drying the meat and make jerky out of it. And they would take wild berries and everything else and pound it in them together after the meat had dried, and that's what they called pemmican. Remember in the stories you see this stuff called pemmican? Real pemmican had berries, like maybe wild strawberries, blackberries, wild plums, and they would pound it into the meat, and then they could eat, and they would have citrus acid, vitamin C, and they would have meat also in their food. All right. Thought I'd throw that in for just good measure. That's what they did back then. All right. 26 and verse 31. By the way, Genesis 19 and verse 3 cross-reference with the last one. Wayash Kamu. Vaboker. Wayish Shavu. Ish. La. Li-ahu. Why shalehum? Yichak. Why ye leku? Mi ito. Be shalom. All right. And they got up early. And then it says, we have a little preposition, page 88 down there. I don't know whether you have it in your book or not, but you should write 88. That's a baith. Baith is a preposition here, in. Baith in. Vab boker. Boker means what? Boker. Huh? Breaking. The breaking of day. What else? What animal is called boker? A cow. Why is a cow called boker and not a sheep or a goat? Because a cow is big enough to hook a plow to it and break the ground. That which breaks the ground, a boker. Okay? So there we have. Up early in the breaking of day, and they swore. Wayish shavu. And they swore and kept on swearing, each to his brother, la chu, each to his brother, and they sent away forcefully. Sent him out. Isaac. See that PL stem there? PL, while consecutive and perfect. They sent away with help and helping, shoving him along. Isaac. Yitzchak. What does Yitzchak mean? Page 850. What does Yitzchak mean? Let's look at that. Let's chase that word all the way down. We've done it before. We've got a brand new student today. I want you. This is test time now. Test time. You're looking over there. See, Cindy? She's got the rules right there in front of her. All right. What does Yitzchak mean? First of all, it means laughter, doesn't it? Huh? Laughter. Laughter. What do you do when you laugh? What do you do when you smile? Smile real big. Smile. What does it make you feel like when you smile? What about when you giggle? What does that do? It kicks in the endorphins, doesn't it? That's painkillers, by the way. Natural painkillers. If you laugh, maybe you won't hurt so bad. All right. Smiling, laughing, pleasure. It can mean kissing. When you kiss somebody, boy, that's exciting. It also can mean making love. That is also in this word. These are natural pleasures. You laugh. It comes from inside. It's what you call onomatopoeic. It's a natural sound. Laughter in every language is laughter in it. Ha, ha, ha. Ha! Giggle. You giggle. You can giggle in Chinese. You can giggle in Korean. You can giggle in Lakota. You can't understand the giggle? Yep. You know what they're doing now. They're laughing. They're giggling. Okay? That's what the word yichik means. All right, yichik. Yichik. Sarah said, turn this old machine over here. Sarah said, when Jehovah promised them a child, she said, "Shall I have pleasure? Shall I have pleasure? And I am this old." Pleasure? And this old. And they went, and they walked, and they walked, and they walked. That's what it means. And they walked, and they walked, and walked from him. It says, third person masculine, plural, cow, wow, consecutive, and perfect, page 229, page 246. It's halak. See the root of it there? The with on the front of it, that's and they walked. From him, mi'ito, from him, bashalom, bashalom. Now, they, Paige, in Arabic, what is the word for peace? Shalom. Yes, it is. Shalom. All right, now what is shalom? What does the name shalom mean? What does the root of that name mean? We think of the word peace, but what is, Brother Roger? Agreement. When you have an agreement between people, because they had an agreement up here, because they had an agreement and a contract and a covenant and a cutting, they sat down and they fellowshiped with together and they got to know each other and to care for each other. And then they had an agreement and then they had peace. In World War I, in the trenches of Europe, I believe it was in France, the Germans over there were fighting the Americans, they were fighting the English, they were fighting the French, and the Germans were over here, and all the other allies were over here, and in Germany they were celebrating Christmas with trees and lights on the trees, and they had Christmas carols, and this was Christmas. In 1916, I believe it was, or somewhere around there. And the Germans started holding up trees and they started singing Christmas carols. And then they would come out to see if they would have peace. They wanted to have an armistice for the holiday season, for Christmas season. They finally got out there and they started looking at each other and waving at each other. And they got over there and they started singing carols together. And they finally got out there and they started burying their dead together. And they started showing each other their families at home. And they made peace with each other. They got to know each other. And then they wouldn't go back to fighting. They just kept on getting to know each other. They were sharing their drinks with each other, their food with each other and everything else. And they were telegraphing back and telegraphing back. What are we going to do? Our soldiers are no longer enemies. They are in peace here. Tomorrow morning, shoot a German. Start shooting them. An officer. Shoot a German. Start the war again. Start the war. And that's what happened. This is real history, people. You can look this up. This is real history. Some of the people that were there went back for years after the war, and they would try to celebrate people from both sides. They were real human beings. They got to know each other. All right. (2632). 2632. By the way, I have finished Volume 3 completely. I have 2 more of these little notebooks that I have to bring down here and copy tomorrow or the next day. And that way I'll give you the rest of the notes to put in your book, and it's going to be very thick. All right? How many more pages do you have before we finish what you have? We have quite a few, don't we? Well, we're going to have a whole lot more. That's all I can say. Wahi. Bayom. Hahu. Wayahu. Avde. Yichik. Say Yichik. Real loud here. Yichik. It's a hard word to say. Yichik. All right? Wayagidu. Lo. Al. Adot. Ha be'er. Asher. Hafanu. Wayomaru. Lo. Matsonu. Mayim. Let's look at this. And became. Everything in Genesis, the first chapter, where it says, I want you to go back and look at that. In Genesis, let's look at that for just a moment, quickly. I want you to get the idea of what this wahi means, okay? Now, we know the translations aren't exactly like Hebrew by any means. In beginnings, Elohim created and absolutely brought out a finished product, the heavens and the earth. And the earth, she became formless and void, and darkness became over the faces of the deep. Became, not was, but became over the faces of the deep. And Spirit God became moving over the faces of the waters. El Paneto Hamayim. And God said, let there become light, and there became light. Every place where you say was, it's became. It's a change from one state to the other. All right? And God saw that light, He saw that the light became good. And God separated the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and He called the dark, and He called the darkness, and He called night. And there became evening, and there became morning. It wasn't evening and morning before, was it? But now it becomes evening, and it becomes morning. So, as you look at that word, I want you to understand that word wahi, and became. And became in day that the and they came in slaves, avide, slaves. 713 and 773. See that, Cindy? Slaves. What is a slave? We don't think much of slaves today, but every worker is a slave today. You're a slave. You're indentured to the bank for your house and your car, whatever you have, unless you own it all, which would be wonderful. You're indentured. You're slaves to the system. You've got your name down there, onamate. What's the word for? That's onamate in Hebrew. That's your name. What is the word for name in Hebrew? Shem. Thank you. Shem. Name or monument or authority. The slaves of Isaac. And they kept on telling to him regarding, causing, adot, the well. Ha be'er. Ha be'er. The well. Be'er means what? It means a flowing well. Something, it's not a cistern. A cistern is something you catch rainwater in. And you keep it like a big rain barrel. A big cistern in the ground was a rain barrel. And all over the Middle East there are cisterns. And there are wells. But a cistern and a well, a cistern is dead water. Dead water. You put water in there to hold, you put it in as a container to hold dead water. It doesn't renew itself. But a ba'er is a flowing well, something that has static level of water in it. Okay? And a real flowing well is that which flows out of the ground and down the stream. That's what you call living water. Okay? Asher, which Hafanu, they had been searching for. Searching. Remember when you dig a well, you are searching for something. When you dig for gold or silver, you're searching for something. Searching, seeking. And they had been seeking, but they found it. And they said to him, we have found Mayim, Matsanu, Mayim. We have found, first person, corporal, plural, Kyle, perfect. We have found Mayim, waters. We have found waters. We have a flowing well now. We have a well that has water coming into it, where it's not just a hole in the ground, but it is a water well. A well. All right. 26 and verse 33. 26 and verse 33. Making any sense to you, Paige? All right. Learn. It's not so bad after all. When you study by induction, it's a lot less painless than standing up here and saying, Aleph, Beth, Gamel. This rule of grammar is this and that rule of grammar is that. Until you just it's like chloroform. You fall asleep. What? No, you wouldn't be here, would you? It would be, yes, Paige.
The flyer said it was from 4 to 5:30. Is that right?
Somewhere around there. It's 4:30 to from 5:30 to whatever we quit. Usually, you have a class to go to. Oh, she's waiting for you. Oh, okay. Well, you may go if you need to. We're going to go about another 5 minutes, 6, 7 minutes, something like that, and we'll. Usually, I'll tell them you want to go another verse, and they'll say yes or no. We're tired of you. So anyway. No, you take that with you. You take that with you. All right. Wayikra. Ata. Shiva. All right. Can, all and can. That's two different words. All and can. And then Shem. There's the word name. Ha'er. That's the city. Beer. Sheba. Ad. Hayom Hazeh. All right. And he kept on calling it Sheba. 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 Sheba means oath. Oath. He kept on calling it oath. Therefore, all can, therefore, or because, or unto because, name. All right. Shem, name. And Shem means name or monument, doesn't it? Shem means name or monument. Ha'er, the city. Beer Sheba. The flowing wells of the oath. That's the name of the city. The city of the well of the oath. Now, back in these days, you had to have a water source before you could have people. Remember, we talked here a while back about the L.A., Mulholland, and all the water wars that went on, and they're going up and falsely buying up land and investigating the land up the Owens Valley, and they were deceiving them, and they built the aqueduct so they could go down there, and then they built the St. Francis Dam down there. And what happened? It wasn't built on a foundation, and that broke. But they got people, and they sold a lot of land because they had to have a water source for people to live. They had to bring water in there. If you don't have water, you can't build a city. When you build a big city, land is worth a lot of money. If there's no water source, the land's not worth much. So here, because of this well, they have a city. And they call it Beersheba, and it's Beersheba till this day. The well of the oath, until the day, Ad Hayom Hazeh. Until the day, this. Is that enough for you? You want another one? Two. Is that all we have? That it? Okay, well, you want two more verses? Is that what you want? Is that all right with you, girls, boys? All right. Wahi. Esau. Ben. Arba'im. Shana. Wayika. Isha. Et. Yehudeth. Bot, Be'eri, Hahiti, Wiet, Basemath, Bot, Elon, Hahiti, Watik. Oh, that's, yeah. Well, we'll stop right there for right now. We'll go on 35 in a moment. And became Esau. What does Esau mean? What's Esau mean? What's Esau mean? Well, it's kind of like that. Edom is. All right. What's Esau mean? Esau. And one of the roots is contentious. All right. What does Esau mean? Harry? That's your name. That's right. Your name means Harry. His name means Harry. All right. His name means Harry. So here we have old Harry. Now I'm going to tell you what. This Harry is a lot better guy than this Harry. All right. That's just the way she is. That's a lot better Harry than this guy right here. He was called Harry because he had hair all over him. He was a hairy booger. All right. Ben means what? According to a pattern. 40, Arbaim, 40 years, Shana, Wayikah, and he took and kept on taking Isha, a wife. Isha means out of man, and it's a wife or a woman. Et, sign of the direct object. Yahudith. All right, now we got Esau here. Now, what does this Judith or Yehudith mean? What's it mean? Praise Jehovah. Praise Jehovah. That's what the name means. This is a feminine name. Judith or Judy is a feminine name for Judas or Judah. All right? And, of course, the King James just made a mess out of the name. They got Jude, they got Judah, and they got Judas. It's all the same name. All right? Now, if you had a feminine one today, it would be Judy or Judith. All right? Daughters of Berry. What does berry mean? What do you think berry means? It has something to do with a well. It means my well. That's what berry means, is my well. 92. You go look in there in 92. Look over there real quick. Cindy, look in it. Yes, in that book right there. 92. It'll say that. My well. Look over there on page 92. 9 and a 2. A 9 on the left and a 2 on the right. What's it say? Uh-huh. Did I have anything written in there? Okay, it means my well. My well. That's berry. My well. The Hittite. Now, what is a Hittite? Is that a blonde? That's what John Shirley used to call the Hittites, blondes. All right, the Hittites. Okay? The Hittites, basically, these are probably of Oriental origin. All right? The Orientals are probably of them. They were the smartest people in the land. But they were terrible. They were great big people. In China, there's some pretty tall people, aren't they, Brother? There's some pretty tall Chinese people, aren't they, Brother Abe? Tall Chinese people? Tall ones? Some tall ones? All right? Tall Chinese. Well, over here, what does that word Hittite come from? What is the root of Hittite? All right? It's Genesis 23:10 and 10 and verse 15. It is Heth. The sons of Heth were big and terrible. That's what it means. The terrible ones. The warriors. These are warriors. All right? And sign of their object, base math. Base math. Base math is on page 141 and 42. 141 and 142. What does it mean there, Cindy? 141 and 142. What do you got? You can read my writing if you want to, if I got it down. It means spices, spicy, or perfume. All right? Is that what it means? All right? Spicy or perfume, a strong odorous, some type of a strong odorous mixture or substance. And her name meant fragrant or spicy. That's what basement means. Fragrant or spicy. 141, 142. Basement, daughter of Elion. Or Elon. And Elon means what? Page 19. By the way, he was born about 1796 BC. This is a long time ago. It means tall tree. As tall and strong tree. That's what Elon means. The Hittite. And 26 and verse 35 now. Watayenu. And then Marut. All right. Ruah. Le Yichik. Yule Rivka. All right. And they became merry. The name Mary. See the word Marat there? That is the word Mary. It means bitter. Bitterness. Mary, the name Mary means bitter. And they became bitterness of spirit to Isaac, to Yitzhak. See that Lamet there? That means that's page 515, that little preposition. To Yitzhak and to Rebekah. All right, to Yitzhak and Rebekah. And there is where we'll finish. Is that all right with you, Cindy? Sharon, is that all right with you?
Yes.
All right, Harry and Abe and Roger. Marilyn, is it all right if I quit right here? Okay. We'll start out there at 27 and verse 1 next week. What? All right. This is the 29th, isn't it? All right. Well, we won't meet again in this month. We'll start there. Their God was their bellies next week. Their God was their bellies. We'll look at that. All right. Let's go out on the world and do what? Do something eternal. Go out in the world and do something eternal. Thank you for your attention tonight and enduring those hard seats, because I endured them for a long, long time. When I was going to school and learning Hebrew and Greek, my teacher was very, very gracious to me. He said, "Now, Brother Jim, if you want to go there and stand in the back room up against that wall, it's all right with me." He said, "It won't bother me at all." He said, "I know your back hurts," because my back was bad for a lot of time. Sister Sharon, would you mind dismissing us in prayer? Would you mind doing that?